Welcome to the first ever official critique. We're going to be talking about 3 people today. Have fun, good luck. Okay, so for this we're going to do 3 critiques since I know we have a bunch of people who messaged me over this. Like a bunch, holy crap, you guys are coming in droves. NuclearClusterFuck. Let's go to you first. So first thing that I really enjoy is that you have some nice complementaries going on. You have your purple and your green here, and the green matches well with this warm color for the eyebrows. So this is nice. I like what you're doing here. Also, the lighting comes through very, very prettily. What I might do differently. Try learning your brushes a little bit better. If you guys can see the texture of the brush strokes here, it looks like you're all doing it with the same round brush. Now also, I have no idea what program you're using. Do you say? No. Oh, by the way, her TikTok is NuclearCluster. You can see it all over here. If you want to catch her, go look. Oh, look, she has good art. Go look her up and find her. Yeah, I can tell that you're generally using the same brush. Look at the way the strokes are structured. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but you can do so much with textures. This has a very sketchy feel to it. In fact, all of them are kind of, like this one's actually a lot more clean, but all of them have a nice, wait, no, you just sent me 3 different things. That's really cool. Oh, I like your variety of style and what you're trying to do. That's good. Okay, yeah. For this one, you have great complementaries, and anatomically it's accurate. That's good. I just might try experimenting with your brushes. It seems like you have your color and your lighting down pretty well for what this is. Maybe it's because you have a sketchy style going here, but try experimenting with different brush types, because they can give you so many cool effects. And maybe clean up your lines a tiny bit. This is a little bit difficult to talk about because your entire approach to this drawing seems to be a bit more sketchy, a bit more loose. If I were going to be doing this, I would kind of clean up the lines. And maybe since you have such a bright light coming down from this direction, add a reflection along the top of the glasses. Like you can see you have a little bit of a reflection going here, but add it also a little bit over here because the glasses will reflect along with the top of the plastic. And maybe same thing with the lips, a little bright along the top. But no, this is a very good start. Let's look at the next one. Okay, I love this. Just saying. This character looks almost crystalline and blue. This is really nice. Again, I can see, I don't know what program you're using. I seriously don't. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. See this nice bright highlight? If you did that along the top of the glasses, that would have looked awesome. The depth of the blues and the difference between the darkest darks, which are here in the eyebrows and the hairs, and the brightest brights, which are these bright blues, this white, and these highlights, is really nice. Because in a good piece of art, you're going to have very large contrasting colors together, which leads your eye from one area to the other and makes things definable against the background. Another thing I enjoy is that your background is blurry compared to sharper lines for the foreground. That's a good thing. And now this is nice. Okay. One thing, and this might just be a personal stylistic thing that irks me mildly, is that you have continued the sketchy lines to show where the eyes are. What I might do next time is if you really want people to know that the eyebrows are arced like this, or if you really want them to know that there's, this cat eye kind of side wing, open up the hair a little bit and visually let them see that, because this piece of art here is too good for you to leave these little sketchy outlines in there. That looks kind of unfinished. I see that you do use these sketchy lines everywhere. I might, as you improve your art, I might try alleviating that a little bit. Is this Procreate that you're using? Some of these brushes look familiar, and this is definitely a mirror. I mean, at least over here. This area looks mirrored. The eyes look mirrored. Oh, but this is good. I really like the dark and lights. I really like the gem-like quality of the eyes. That's really good. Yeah, but this... Try to get away from this, and instead of communicating things through little sketchy edge lines like that, open up and create a different way to communicate with it, such as opening up the hair so people can actually see that, or else it'll look a little bit unfinished. Okay, and last piece. I love this. Oh, mama. I love the consistent light source in this. You got that down. Oh, this is pretty. You can see that this giant glowing sunny thing is the consistent light source, and that you have these golden edges coming along, and then there, you know, it works for the hill here. Oh, and you got some atmospheric perspective going on with the different colors of the hills. This is nice. This is fancy, funky, free. This is a good piece. I like this. And you're using your brushes. There's lots of different texture in here. I like this one. You experimented. I like it. Let's see. What would I change? I don't know if I'd change much. Okay. Nitpicking. You see how this grass is just has like a straight edge to it, and then there's like the texture of the grass in here. Instead of making this such a straight, you know, because I think what I'm guessing you did technique-wise is you took a selection tool and went all the way around and then filled things in that selection area, because that's personally how I would have done most of this, and that's what it looks like. For this one, instead of making a straight edge over here, make it spiky. Make it match the texture of the grass that you've put under there. So then it won't look like it's just, you know, a blocked off area that's been filled in with a texture. It'll actually look like the texture is part of the outline. So yeah, when you do these selections, make sure they're spiky and they kind of match the texture of the grass. And then, especially since this is receding in perspective, make these ones nice and big in the foreground, make these a little bit smaller, and then make this far away. Because you can also see your texture here. It's the same size all over the place. If these hills are going away in perspective, this grass will be big, this grass will be medium, and this grass will be small. Make sure to maintain size orientation in perspective. But no, you got your, this is a great, compared, like, seeing what you're doing with your portraits and seeing you jump to a different style like this is excellent. Good job. Okay. And you got your complementaries going, you got your purples, you got your golds, you got your greens. This is nice. I like this. This is a good one. Okay. So that's what I have to say about your art. Great job. You have, I gave you some tips for improvement. I want to see what you do with them. So experiment with your brushes. Try getting away from some of the more sketchy lines. Learn how to control or learn how to show things more through opening up your characters' faces instead of just using sketchy lines. And then make sure you're controlling your textures as they go into a distance and work with them. Work with their edges. So those are my tips for you. Overall, excellent. We actually might only have time for 2 people. I didn't realize I would take 8 minutes for one. So good job. This was NuclearClusterFuck on Instagram and YouTube. So, hi there, my name is Casey. I'm a third-year art student who actually does a lot more performance art, but I do some other artwork. Here's a couple of my latest works. So if you want to find this person, she is Casey Cat Mum on TikTok or Casey Doing Art on Instagram. So let's look at this one first. Now, I personally don't paint a lot. Okay, I love the starkness. This is a very... I can tell you're a performance artist, and it's not because of the way you have a technique, but because this picture has a lot of emotion to it. I know it might seem to some people as just a straightforward piece of art, just like that, but it's not. It's gorgeous. Like, you have this statement of a person just sitting there, and you have a direct complimentary going here. And it's a cold yellow too, so this piece feels very kind of distant emotionally, and I really like that. You have this coldish yellow, and you have your cold purple here, this lavender, and then just the outline. Oh, that's awesome. Just this outline. And so the statement, the center. Usually you like working with thirds, but this person, this character looks like they're approaching you straightforward, just existing and expressing their self on this piece. It looks like the person, it doesn't look like a painting to me. It feels almost like somebody is sitting on the canvas judging you. And I love that. I also really like that you used sparkly paint. That's a good choice. I don't know personally what you were going for this. One thing I might have done, since this is a very unique presentation of this particular art, one thing I might have done, what if you could have used different kinds of paints? Like an acrylic that I'm guessing this is acrylic. An acrylic that has a matte texture versus an acrylic that has a shiny texture. Or what if you mattified? There's something called Flock. PHLOK, I think. It's put on the dashboards of rally cars. It's kind of like felt in a way, like a felt that you can spray on, and it makes things non-reflective. What if, to improve this, because this is a very different kind of art, what if to improve this, to make, because you have this shiny texture here, it feels almost like your image is standing off of the actual piece of canvas. So as you have shiny textures here already, what if you used some sort of felt or flock or a fuzzier textured paint, and you put it on the shirt to make the shirt feel like it had depth or it was absorbing everything around it? Or alternatively, you could have done that on the back. If you go to culturehustle.com, they have a black paint called Black 3.0 that absorbs 99% of light. What if you bought a paint like that and you used that as a background? Because right over here, it's reflecting a lot of the light. And I know, it's not an ideal picture. But what if you were able to use different materials, since this is more of a statement piece, I feel, than a trying to replicate reality piece? If you use different paint materials to make things feel like they had more or less depth, because this doesn't have that much shading, it feels very flat. What if you used your materials to make it go out or come in even more? I think that would be great. Yeah, that's my suggestion to you. Next time you make something like this, make your background color, try using a more mattified paint to make it absorb more light, to make sure that your character stands out more. It looks like this particular shirt has more depth of blackness to it. So maybe you were going for that, but that's what I would go for. But in general, I really like this piece because it feels extremely present, like conscious almost. It's done very well. Okay, this is a digital piece, and I like this. Oh, this was done in Procreate! I know that brush! Haha! Procreate fam! Okay. So one thing that's a bit weird about this for me. Okay, first let me give you some positives, because there are lots of positives. You got your anatomy really nicely. You got the shadowing done nicely. This kind of look has a beautiful softness. There are different statements going on in here. You have the religious statement, except it's barbed wire. You have the almost apple. It reminds me of a candy apple, which I really like. There's these bright red zags going, and you have like the different textures here. It looks like things were done with a pretty similar brush. The outlines are a little bit soft, and that's actually what was startling me at first. This brush on the back, I think it's called Bolt or something. Look how sharp the outlines of Bolt are. Like, you can see how just jagged they are. And then you have the extreme softness of here. It's almost transparent around the edges of the main character. And that leads to my eye. Okay, first of, when I close my eyes, and do this, you guys do this too, because it's an important lesson. Close your eyes. You're not seeing anything. Now open your eyes. What's the first thing your eyes jump to when you look at this picture? For me, it's right around here. First of all, it's an eyeball, and second of all, it's white. So it's the brightest point on the picture. This right here is the focal point of your attention. But that immediately afterwards, my eye goes down here and over here, because these bright red bolts next to these kind of bright yellow lime colored bolts are direct contrast. And so what you have here is you have jumping focal points. There's too much going on in the picture to have a direct initial focal point that maintains your eye and draws you around. Because I know your focus is supposed to be this character, right? And I'm not going to comment much on the art technique itself, because you've done pretty darn well on this. This is a good drawing. But color-wise, your color intensity, you have higher intensity in the background and sharper edges on the background, which is typically something that you see for a focal point of the main character, and yet it's a texture in the background. And then you have your character here with the less contrast. Like, the highlights really aren't that bright compared to the shadows. If you turn this black and white, it would be pretty similar shades of gray all around. You want brightness. If you want to drive a focal point, you want high contrast, you want nice sharpness, and you want the background to be softer and draw less attention. And so for this piece, your technique is great, your colors work together pretty well, but your focal point is actually arguing between the background and right around here on the face. In fact, the hair feels fuzzy. Everything in this picture is arguing a little bit. So that's what I would focus on for next time. If you take this piece and send it back to me, that, you know, we could do something with that. So what I would suggest is, if you decide to do another piece, make this the focus. And by doing that, and to do that, increase the contrast, meaning you have to have something, like right over here. The reason this contrast works so well is because it's a white eye against a dark red kind of eye makeup thing. And it's a green versus a red. And those are complementaries and they contrast together. That's why the green eyes stand out so much, because it's in a sea of red. And so, bam! You just look at it immediately, especially because it's right next to this bright pink nose. So that's why your initial focal point is right around here, especially because we're humans, we're drawn to a human face. And then it's like, oh wait, what's this? What's this? Oh my god, what's this? What are these textures? Like, you barely notice this stuff down here. Especially because if you turned this black and white, I can almost guarantee these would be similar tones. So that's getting lost. And then you have all the all around it. So next time for this particular piece, unless you're going for something where it's supposed to be confusing, I would fuzz these out a bit, drive the contrast in this area, make these less saturated and make this more saturated, so your character, so your focal point, the face, pops out and maintains the attention, because there's no story in the background. The background is a background texture from what I can tell. But yeah, your technique is awesome. I love the colors you're using. It reminds me of a candy apple. It's very energetic, very pop, like have pop art kind of feeling. It's done. You did a good job. This is a good job. Okay, you done a good job. I know. Okay, I'm being very highly critical because this piece is good and it has potential, but it has that one glaring problem, and it's easily fixable, and it's something that you can just do very, very quickly. And considering you're more of a performance artist, this is excellent. This is great. And I can tell you're a performance artist by the way you draw and the way your pieces demand attention and give emotion. But yeah, so I like both of these. Both of these are really, really neat in their own respect. Like, this is good. You've done a good job. Okay, I'm clapping for you there. Okay, yeah, let's do one more critique. So, on TikTok, this person is IceQ, and she's saying, my iPad crashed, so I won't be posting until next week, but I hope you like these. Also, I'm in love with your work. Keep it up. Thank you so much. I will. Let's look at your stuff. Ooh. Okay, first off, your anatomy is fantastic. Let's get these where we can actually see them. Oh, I love the softness. These have some good softness. I like the texture you got going here. This is good. It looks like you took these and mirrored these, I'm guessing. I can tell this was done in Procreate because I know that brush. This is cute. I like these a lot. Okay, you got good anatomy going. That's nice. That is very nice. And I love the shape this is taking, this kind of mirrored effect. Ha! I found a tiny little spot right here. You need to erase that. Okay, and I really enjoy that this shadow is here and it's used as the same color as the sketch. One thing I might do is I might clean up your sketches, because you still have the sketch in here. The sketch is still present in your piece of art. So for presentation purposes, I'd make it cleaner. Because you have these nice colors, you got good anatomy going. But yeah, so you can see over here how sketchy this is. It detracts from your art. It makes it not quite as nice as it could be. Like this art has potential to be really clean and really good. And then you have these tiny little sketchy lines. I would clean up the way you're shading and presenting your sketch lines. Or things like this right here. Like you could have erased that right there. Like that's necessary because it's showing the the sleeve edge, but I would just, on this side, considering you don't need to show a sleeve edge, that line's not necessarily, so small little adjustments like that. Shading wise, this looks like an airbrush of some sort. I think that if you experiment a little bit, you can start using other brushes outside of airbrush. Okay, try Nico Roll on for size. Try Nico Roll, might be under ink, I think, or brushes, something like that. Try Nico Roll. Try shading with something outside of airbrush. And for shading, put an adjustment layer over it, put a clipping mask over your main color layer, and put it on multiply and lower it to about 50%, maybe 60%. Either that or keep the multiply layer on 100%, the shading layer that's supposed to be multiply, and lower the opacity of your brush down to like 30 or 40%. And then you can brush the edges in to make it smoother, and I would recommend using something like Jagged Brush. So try doing that, because your art is good, but I think you're ready to take it to the next step. Like, your anatomy's there, you have good colors going on, they're very bright, but I think that if you just clean up your lines a bit and you try experimenting with brush types, you're going to be golden. Also, one more thing. See how this leg is behind this leg, but they're the same shade color? They're like molding together. What you want to do is you actually want to take your shadow color right over here and notch it down like 2 shades and then shade that, because then that'll force this leg here back in perspective versus this leg here. Like, just so you would outline, watch my mouse. Take this, like that, this entire area, this rear leg, fill it with a darker shade color, and that will automatically, like, see, you did it over here. See, look, you did it right here. Bright shade, dark shade. Do the exact same thing, but do it with the legs, because then it'll push the legs back in perspective. Yeah, because this is a very similar shading color, and it's kind of molding together. Just take this color, darken it a tiny bit, and get in there and push that leg backwards in perspective with shadow. But this is nice. I like this. Let's see, what's next? Oh, this is funky! This has so much different movement! This is cool! Okay. Wow. This is nice. Okay, I really, really love this piece. This is funky. This is awesome. I appreciate your use of, I think this is disco, this brush to make beads. That was creative use of brush. Okay, perspective, spot on. Brush use and creativity, spot on. This looks like a design you could print on t-shirts. This is a very different style than I usually work in, so this is a bit interesting to critique. Clean up your edges. That's basically the only thing I'm going to tell you to do. Like right in here, you have a really funny, nice texture here, but it's overlapping on your arm. So take this, clean it up. That's all I'm going to say. This is nice, but take these edges in here, clean it up, make them sharper. Put an extra hour or 2 of work into this and it's going to be awesome. Yeah, you have really cool ideas, but you need to clean them up a bit more to make them more professional and more advanced. Last one. Ooh, we got some funky babies. Okay. Fabulous. Flawless. Can't see the last one. Amazing. Okay. One thing that's popping out to me is that you're losing the tone. This person right here is basically invisible. It's very hard to see her right now. Nice hand. That's a good hand. Yeah, but she's so light. There's nothing really defining the edge of her body. If anything, I would have taken this shadow and put it on her other side. Like, I see what you're doing stylistically. You have these three badasses, and they have the colored shadow on one side of them or another side. I might have actually taken this darker shadow. I might have mixed and matched the shadows. Like, this bright colored shadow could have gone on her. This darker shadow could have gone on her. This lighter shadow could have gone on her, and this colored one could have gone on her. Because they're getting lost in their own side shadows or their own side accents. Because the colors are very similar, and I understand it's a character thing, but it's making them kind of lose their edges and making them kind of blobby in a way, if that makes sense. So, like, the only one, see, like, it works over here because she's wearing white, but then once you get down to her leggings, it's like, oh, that's a similar color. Or with her, it's helping define her edge. I think the biggest problem is on this one here, because it's such a similar color to her bodysuit that from far away, that's another trick. If you want to see how your art works, look at it far away and don't look at it for a few moments. Let your eyes readjust, look at other things around your room, and then look at it again. Yeah, the figures are visible, but they are getting lost, especially this character in her accent color. Stylistically, I know that your outlines are colored, but I might increase the density of them, like make them a little bit thicker, make them a little bit darker. It's very difficult to tell that this over here is the line of the leg leading up to the crotch, for instance. And again, this you can't even tell where her arm is here. This looks like a floating hand. But your colors going through here, all the shades of purple, nice warm purples too. I like that you used warm colors in here. It's very tonal. It looks very like 80s in a way, combined with a modern anime, something badass. I like it. It's a good piece. It's a good piece. You just need to define things a little bit more and find a way to make them pop and work with themselves. And I'll do that by switching around the shadows and thickening your outlines a tiny bit in the right places. Overall, very good work. If you want to find this person, again, IceQ on TikTok. Go find her, go follow her. She has cute stuff. Oh, look, it's a leg! So those were your critiques. I hope I was able to help. I certainly had a lot of fun doing it. All three of you had great art, very different styles. You're on a very good path. You just need to adjust and improve, and that's why I'm here to help you guys. If you want, apply my critiques and send me the pieces back. Just reply to the emails we had going here, and I will look at it and tell you what I think. And if they're super duper good, I'll share it with everybody. We'll have like an improved before and after kind of thing going, and I think that would be awesome. So if you guys like these kind of videos, hit that subscribe. It's on this side. Hit that subscribe, notification bell, whatever you want to do. If you want your art critiqued, send it over to mirandahybrid@gmail.com. And as per always, I will see you on Tuesday for tutorials, Thursday for art talk, and Friday for art block. And then a bunch of gaming videos thrown randomly like digital diarrhea in between. So make sure to drink your water, get your sleep, believe in yourself, and follow your dreams. Have a good day, and bye-bye.